Yes, sir, we are ready.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Clemente Planning Commission meeting of Wednesday, May 3rd. I call this meeting to order, and Commissioner Cosgrove will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me. Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Crandall is absent. Commissioner Davis is absent. Commissioner McCacken.
Here.
Commissioner Prescott Leffler.
Here.
Chair Steve Camp is, or Chair Pro Tem, pardon me, Steve Camp is absent. Vice Chair Cameron Cosgrove.
Here.
And Chair Scott McCann.
Here. Thank you. We have no special orders of business. Number 5, minutes. The minutes of regular Planning Commission meeting of April 19th. I do have an item on that. Under staff present, it says Elizabeth Mitchell, Deputy City Attorney. Should that deputy be stricken?
It should be. Yeah, good catch.
Okay. Anything else? We have a motion?
I move to approve. I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
So that item passes 4-0. No. Oral communications. Is there anyone here to speak tonight on any item that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Consent calendar, item 7A. And I'd like to pull this item off of the consent calendar so we can have a little staff report on it, and discussion.
It's not working. Oh, works now. Okay. Guess I didn't have the right touch. So, good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. This is a item that is done annually by the city to find that the capital improvement program adopted annually with the budget is consistent with the general plan. The Planning Commission is the planning agency. One of the rules is to make that determination. So we have a resolution with a list of projects presented that's to go to the City Council. There were some revisions that were sent to you, of which copies are posted on the internet and in the back of the room. And for that reason, we ask that you pull this item for us to give you a chance to ask questions. But with the revisions that we've given you, we request that you include those in a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'm sorry, did you say with the, in the motion, adopt the recommendations? Is that what you?
With the updated.
With the updated, okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
thank you. Is there any particular items you want to highlight for us or bring to our attention?
No, we can just note that this sheet that was given to you,
Yeah.
it highlights in colors. Red are some projects that were removed. The green are added projects, and then the yellow are changes that were made, say, to financial numbers or some of the wording of the project description or the title. But in no cases did staff find that these changes would be inconsistent with the general plan. The policies, in fact, that were included in Exhibit B of the resolution would still apply to these projects that we've listed here.
Okay, so are all of these projects on the list scheduled to have some kind of expenditure this fiscal year on them, even if it's just design or surveying or something like that?
Yes, to be part of the budget adoption
Next fiscal year, right?
for next fiscal year.
Well, this coming fiscal year.
Yes, but I should note that the CIP, these projects can occur over multiple years.
Right.
These are the projects that are proposed to go into next year's budget.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Are we recommending approval of this to council?
So the resolution is to find that the proposed capital improvement program is consistent with the general plan. That's the nature of the resolution. And we just ask that you include the proposed changes that we've presented tonight into that resolution. So you would note adoption of the resolution with the proposed changes provided this evening.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Thanks, Christopher, for your being here. Let's straightforward, so I'm going to move a couple recommendations. So I move that we recommend to the city council that they find the fiscal year 2023, 2024 proposed CIP projects is not a project subject to the CEQA according to the state CEQA guidelines, section 15378, and that we recommend to the city council adoption of Planning Commission Resolution 23008, entitled "A Resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Clemente, California, finding the fiscal year 2024 capital improvement program consistent with the San Clemente General Plan to also include the proposed changes presented to us tonight by staff."
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item carries 4-0. Thank you, Christopher. Moving on, item 8A, a public hearing on conditional use permit 23-072, North Beach Villa, full alcohol, 1410 Calle Mirador. And I'll open the public hearing. The city attorney's directed us to, before we discuss items, to request any disclosures or outside communications be disclosed regarding this item. So, city attorney, would you like to explain to us what you're looking for, if we have any?
The commission should disclose if you do have any conflicts of interest with regards to this project or this application. And also if you had any ex parte communications, which means do you have any information regarding this project that is basically not found in the agenda before you. So, and you would just need to disclose that. And obviously, if you need to recuse yourself, now would be the time, but then we would lack a quorum. So, so let's proceed and go from there.
Okay, thank you. So to be specific, relative to disclose, or conflicts of interest, you'd be looking for if we had a financial interest in some way in the application, or if we live within a certain radius of the site?
Correct.
Okay. And what's the difference between the 500 feet and 1,000 feet? When would we?
It does get a little complicated. Hold on one second. So you are supposed to disclose the FP, the FPPC questions are, will the development change your property? Will the income producing potential of your own property change? Will the highest and best use of your parcel change? Will the character of your parcel change by substantially altering traffic levels, intensity of use, parking, view, privacy, noise, or air quality? Or will the market value of your parcel change? And I can go through, if anyone needs, if we do have that 500 and 1,000 feet issue, I can go through that with any of the commissioners.
I'm in Delega. I'm pretty far.
Yeah, no, I just wanted us to be informed for kind of generically for all items, so, okay. Okay. So does anybody have any conflicts of interest or ex parte communications on this item?
And if I could just add one clarifying point too, we commonly have received disclosures about site visits. That would also be one. This is the appropriate time for that too. So it's not necessarily direct communications with an applicant. It could be, I visited the site, or I researched this specific article about this industry. Anything of that sort would also be appropriate at this time, just to add that clarification.
Okay, thank you. Can we please have the staff report?
Yes, good afternoon. So let me start again. So again, the project is North Beach Villa Alcohol Service, David Carrillo, Assistant Planner. The project is located at 1410 Calle Mirador, and it's in the Neighborhood Commercial 2 zone and within 3 overlay districts, the architectural, affordable housing, and coastal zone. And it's also within the coastal exclusion order area, which means that this will not be subject to coastal commission review or approval. This is also within the North Beach and North El Camino Real focus area. Some background here on the site. The Planning Commission approved the bed and breakfast back in 2019. Construction of the bed and breakfast was completed last year, and its current operation is consistent with the approval, with 3 guest rooms and 1 manager's unit. So the request before us today is for an on-site sale, service, and consumption of full alcohol at a bed and breakfast. Alcohol service hours would only be during breakfast and evening receptions, with the hours on the screen. For breakfast, it would be 7 a.m. through 9:30 a.m. on weekdays, and 8 a.m. through 11 a.m. on weekends and holidays. And then for the evening reception, it'll be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we are noting that the applicant's not proposing to open this to the general public. They would have to be guests at the hotel, at the bed and breakfast. So the bed and breakfast use is regulated by the Neighborhood Commercial 2 zone and the special uses section. These 2 sections do not discuss alcohol for bed and breakfast. So with staff's direction, when we receive occasions like these, we look at the use tables to find any other similar uses. In this case, we have hotels that are able to have cocktail lounges. Given that this is a pretty distinct use between hotel, staff found it appropriate to deem it similar to a restaurant when reviewing the CUP. So, which is why we are asking for this, or we required the conditional use permit for alcohol service on site. So we are adding a condition of approval in the resolution, which will limit the alcohol service hours from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. We did have the Code Compliance Department, Orange County Sheriff's Department, and ABC review the requests and all are in support. The project is consistent with the general plan policies, which call for uses that support or contribute to this area as described in the general plan as a coastal visitor-oriented entertainment hub and recreation area. We also find that the project is in compliance with all other code requirements. Therefore, staff is recommending that the planning commission determine the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA and approve the request subject to conditions of approval. And this concludes my presentation, and we do have the applicant available for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Was there any neighborhood feedback, letters received, anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask a question. Is food service also part of what the bed and breakfast provides?
Eric, can the applicant speak to that?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, breakfast in the morning as part of a bed and breakfast inn. And then the evening reception will be appetizers, finger food, that type of thing. So no dinner, no lunches, nothing beyond breakfast and the evening reception.
But there is food available
Yes,
at that, with the
Yes.
alcohol at the same time?
yes.
Okay. How are you going to provide this service? Is it service that people will order from a menu? Do you have a bartender? How is this? I'm new to a bed and breakfast request for this. Restaurant, I understand. They have trainers, they have server training, they have bartenders. Can you just maybe give us an overview of how your operation is going to handle this?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple. It's me and my wife.
Okay,
So we're on site full-time. So we will be handling the food and the alcohol service. We both have our RBS training.
Okay.
And my wife is actually a server and has served alcohol for many, many years. So we have quite a bit of experience. And we will be serving, so the alcohol service is actually included in the overnight fee. So we aren't charging per glass or anything like that. So they're essentially like open receptions during those hours that we will be attending and pouring.
okay, so I guess what I was inferring by the question, it wasn't very clear too, is how you're going to control it. So is it going to be out for people to self-serve, or are you going to control it?
Yeah, no, we'll have 100% control.
Okay.
So we will serve, to the guests directly, and it's only to our registered guests. And our maximum occupancy is 10. So that is really the limit.
And you will be able to control it so that no minors would have access to this?
Absolutely, yes. And that's part of the RBS training as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just, when a restaurant bar comes in, I kind of know how that configuration is, but
Right.
in this situation, it's a first for me, and I wanted to just dive a little into it to understand your configuration.
And we actually have a lobby, a common lobby, and we have a covered courtyard with tables and chairs. We have a barbecue area with a sink that's, common to all three guest rooms. So those are the areas that will be controlled and where we'll be serving.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So in the covered patio area, is that where you'll be serving?
In the covered patio area in the lobby, correct.
Okay. The cars come in from the back, from Mirador?
Technically, it's the front, but yes.
Where does the public come in?
On Mirador. The entrance and the driveway is on Mirador.
Okay. Can people come in from El Camino Real?
Only registered guests with access codes, so it's locked.
Okay. I think that was mine. Mine was only guest bartender, so you and your wife are kind of like the bartender.
Correct.
And they either drink in the common patio or up in their room?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick question. So I see that you will serve the alcohol. Does anything preclude the guests from bringing alcohol to the patio
No.
on their own?
No.
I'm curious, Eric, maybe I should announce your speaker card. Eric Spink. I'm curious, or maybe it's a question for David too. This is CUP, right? Correct. Out of curiosity, approximately how much did this CUP cost to apply for?
Do you know how much that was, Jonathan? I'm not sure how much we
Just the
took in.
ballpark.
Oh,
I'm
ballpark?
curious, is it $1,000? Is it $5,000? Is it?
Yeah, so it is a ballpark because it's based off staff time. The standard deposit for any application is 5,000, and that's then billed against for staff time. This is an item that did not take a lot of staff time, so it's going to be on the low end. I imagine it's going to be below 1,000 for this application.
Okay, so it's deposit-based.
Correct.
Okay, I was just curious how much it cost our applicant to get here. And you kind of asked some of my questions, too. Okay, I have no further questions at this time. Mr. Spink, would you like to, give any comments or discussion or support of your item? You have 10 minutes.
I have 10 minutes, yeah. I've got a little speech here. So again, my name is Eric Spink. I, along with my wife, Florine, am the owner and operator of North Beach Villa. It's a beautiful bed and breakfast inn located on El Camino Real in North Beach, where you will find a place to gather, relax, and have fun while staying in a comfortable luxury hotel room in an intimate setting. Our newly constructed villa sits atop a hill with panoramic views of Catalina Island, the ocean, beautiful sunsets, and the hill, the hills of San Clemente. Our location is the ideal place to walk to the beaches and numerous restaurants and bars in the immediate vicinity. Each of our 3 guest rooms, uniquely designed with modern furnishings and technology, are serene, simple, and very, very comfortable. Our goal is to create unique, memorable experiences for all of our guests. We have been technically in operation for 9 months now. We've had over 150 completed reservations. Our expected occupancy this month is close to 70%. We've had 65 online reviews, 100% of which have all been 5 stars. To that end, we have applied for a Type 80 liquor license with the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, and Type 80 is specific to bed and breakfast inns, which authorizes the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits purchased from a licensed wholesaler or wine grower to registered guests only, and only for consumption on premises. Alcoholic beverages are integral to our business plan and to the overall environment of the inn. The experience of lodging in a small, boutique-style bed and breakfast necessitates the consumption of alcohol. Offering a reception each evening that serves a nice glass of wine or a local beer, or allowing a guest to enjoy a glass of champagne on their private balcony while gazing at the gorgeous sunset over Catalina Island is integral to the overall guest experience while staying in our beautiful accommodations within San Clemente. With that said, we do agree to all conditions of the conditional use permit, and I appeal to you to please approve the CUP that will allow us to serve a range of alcoholic beverages to our registered guests. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spink. Any commissioner discussion?
I just have a general question, maybe to staff. How far from El Camino does bed and breakfast with alcohol extend? Does it go all the way to the ocean? Any bed and breakfast in the North Beach area can ask for a ABC license? Once they're
Commissioners,
approved?
can we first take public comment?
Okay.
I know, I realize there's no one here, but.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Then we-
And
I
then
went
we
too
can go to
fast.
commissioner
Is there any
discussion.
members of the public that would like to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none,
Thank you.
and we appreciate Mr. Spink's comment. And you're welcome to sit down unless someone has a specific question. Thank you. Now moving on to commissioner discussion.
We should close the public hearing first, and then we'll go to commissioner discussion.
Okay, thank you. I close the public hearing. Now if we can have commissioner discussion.
Yes. So in response to that question, we have a separate section of our code that specifically regulates bed and breakfast. It's different than our hotel and motel uses. So hotels and motels will be in our use tables under commercial and mixed-use zones, specifying where those are allowed, and they always require a conditional use permit. Bed and breakfast inns may or may not require a use permit, but we allow them in both residential and commercial zones. And so there's a little bit more flexibility on bed and breakfast. So yes, conceivably, we could have bed and breakfasts that do go towards the coast. So this is in our North Beach area. We actually have a high density residential zone not far from this. So they would be permitted in that area, or even up towards the Buena Vista area. You could conceivably have a bed and breakfast. There's also additional requirements, though, that come into play with bed and breakfast. As Mr. Spink noted, they do provide breakfast on site. We do require, under that code section, that a meal is provided and that you have an owner or manager that resides on site. So it's not just an independent facility where, you know, you might have staff come. It is intended to have 24/7 type of on-site care. So that's the difference there. But yes, it could be in other facilities in the area too.
So the manager, there has to be some kind of control person. Just you don't go to the fridge and drink all the tequila. You have to be served by the manager or some designated bartender?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Karen?
My only comment is it appears that they're following all the rules, all the conditions.
Okay.
Meals are served, management is on site.
Yeah, I, for one, think this is entirely appropriate. And I think that they've met the required findings, so I will be supportive of the project. Your facility is beautiful. It's a welcome addition to our town, so thank you for undertaking it and doing it. With that being said, I'm open to motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion if staff will help me with which part of, do you want me to read the entire resolution, or can I just go under the staff recommendation 1 and 2? On page 4.
It would be appropriate to just read the recommendation items that are on page 4.
Okay. So based on the information in the staff report and subject to the required findings and the conditions of approval, staff is making the recommendation in the Planning Commission. And I would like to move that, based on the findings and the staff's report, that this project is categorically exempt from the, thank you, this helps, the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines, section 15301, class 1 existing facilities, and adopt the resolution PC 23-006 approving conditional use permit 23-072 North Beach Villa Alcohol Service, subject to the conditions of approval therein.
Second, yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Congratulations, Mr. Spink. Thank you very much.
And Chair, if I could just add, as a standard with all our public hearing items, there is a 10-day appeal period, so the public is welcome to appeal any item that is on a public hearing. They would need to submit that request to the city clerk.
Thanks. Mr. Spink, real quick, where do you advertise your, availability for your facility?
So we're on all of the online travel agencies, Expedia.
Okay.
NorthBeachVilla.com.
Okay, northbeachvilla.com. Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Moving on, new business, no new business, old business, no old business. Reports of commissioners and staff. Do we have any?
I do have a question. That could be under new business.
Oh, go ahead.
Under, and the minutes that we just approved, there were a few items that were tasked with staff. And I wanted to go over those if I can find the minutes here. Just wanted an update. It wasn't the streamline. Oh, the project, I believe, that was down by the casino. The
The Miramar?
yes. Is there an update on that? Because it was discussed. As far as the staff was going to meet.
So if I could, real quick, I think the appropriate location would be under item number 11, reports. So I think let's go ahead
Okay.
and move beyond, let's close out of new business. I think we could probably do the same for old, and then let's catch that under the reports section.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
So moving on to the reports section. Commissioner Loeffler?
I would like to see if there's an update from staff on my question.
Yes, certainly. So the Miramar property, the commission may be aware that there was an application for an amendment to that property that did go to design review in January. Obviously, we're not going to discuss any specifics of that application since it might come in front of you, but just as context that there is an application that's active at that site. Other than that amendment, though, just the general status of construction generally, it is something that we have heard concerns from the community about. So we did reach out to the project or the property owners. We were informed that there was one of the three main partners is no longer a part of that partnership. That is someone who I had been interacting with in the past. So there has been a shift in that, but not a change in the others who are a part of that project. They have been discussing terms with a local contractor to potentially carry that project forward. They are looking at doing some refinancing potentially on the construction loan that they had taken out previously. After having a initial conference call with them, we being myself, as well as our code compliance, actually our deputy director, Adam Matamian, who oversees code compliance, and our senior building inspector, met them on site to review some of the issues that we have concerns with, including general security, disrepair of the fencing and the screening of that fence, as well as some debris and other trash that has been unattended by the property owners. So that meeting occurred about a week ago, and we have followed up with them on the next tasks that are asked of them by staff. If we don't have action on those items, the next step will be for them to receive correction notices, then potentially citations. Obviously, we want to approach every business first in a way to try to get compliance and get proactive measures underway. If we don't get that successfully, though, then our code compliance division will become more involved.
You covered every question I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments or questions?
Yes, just on the record, I won't be here on the 17th. And is there any construction status at El Camino in Valencia? You know, the one that started, the one that's closest to the freeway across from the proposed dental, two-story building? It seems like there hasn't been any action lately.
I will find out and respond to the commission by email. I don't have a top-of-mind update on that specific project.
They've done like all the basement and a lot of the fittings but I passed by there because my daughter, a grandchild are sort of in the area, and it doesn't look like anything's happened. Like it's sort of stopped the last month or two. Okay.
I will reach out to the project team there and get an update, and I'll send an update on that by email to the commission.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. As I may not be in attendance on June 7th. I won't know until, June 7th. I won't know until late May. So I'll let you know as that develops. With that, I'd be open to a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting to the next meeting, which is May 17th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned.